Hey everyone, I'm Nathan. Thanks for joining me today as we draw every Drawfee Fursona. The characters for this video come from any Drawfee episode with the word Fursona or furry in the title or the thumbnail. So these are the three main videos that I'm pulling from today. You should definitely go check them out. Of course, they're great watches. Also, stick around for the end of the video where I make a small announcement about something exciting happening on my Patreon. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So my idea for this episode is the Drawfee gang have just gone out to eat. They're in New York City, sometimes referred to as the fifth member of Drawfee, and some of their favorite anime characters walk by and they spy them across the way. This is the concept we're working with here, people. Here's where I start sketching the Drawfee crew. I didn't have a lot of thought when I was going into this, besides the desire to make Jacob very tall, because all he does is talk about being 6 feet. So I was like, I'm gonna make him the tallest Fursona in the world. For some reason, when I was drawing Julia in the sketch phase, I went into a lot of detail, almost like it was the part of the video when I start inking the character. I think I did this because initially I thought she was a wolf, but then when I rewatched the episode, I was like, oh, that's right, she's a raccoon. I remembered that completely wrong. And the idea of a raccoon Fursona is so novel. I was like, oh my gosh, have I ever drawn a raccoon? And I just got really excited for it. So I started putting in details a little early. And now I'm drawing Jacob Fursona. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I made his waist snatched. Dear God, these proportions, the objectification, we are looking respectfully. I'm so giggly this episode. Oh no, am I blushing? Or are you? Speaking of blushing, I'm drawing the Nathan Fursona now, and I make a little teensy-weensy tiny change. I make him really beefy. It's just one of my favorite archetypes of furries, is when they're big and round and really cute. I just feel like they look so cuddly, so I made him just much bigger, so there's just more of him to hug. I don't go super in depth with sketching Karina yet, and then I futz with the table a little bit, and then we're on to the rest of the drawing. I'm just placing a bunch of anime personas, casually walking down the street, nothing weird or out of place here. Also some bystanders, maybe some people sitting at tables. Inking Jacob Fursona was a little difficult because I interpreted his shirt as like a jean jacket, and I'm normally pretty confident when it comes to drawing folds, but blue jean is such a unique texture and textile. Like, it's so heavy, I was having a lot of trouble figuring out how it would lay on the form, and I actually ended up looking at a lot of reference to try to figure it out. So I went back and forth between 4 different layers, trying different techniques, and at the end I made like a Franken layer out of all of them combined to get the type of look I was going for. I'm about to draw the neck and face. I debated giving him an Adam's apple, but I ultimately went against it because he didn't have one in the original art, so I was like, why add it? It's fine without. I was really proud of this sitting pose and how well you can really tell that the form is turning, like he's twisting in his seat, and with all of the folds like implying his body underneath. I was just really proud with how it came out. This chair, on the other hand, can rot in Tartarus. I hated drawing this chair because I had to suddenly make the pose I drew make sense in perspective, and I figured out in the end, but that doesn't mean the journey there was enjoyable. I'm negotiating a bunch of different hairstyles, but then I realized the thing I actually didn't like was the neck, and I ended up making it thicker. A good artist tip, if you're trying to make a figure more masculine or feminine, a way to stylize that very easily is a slender neck is more feminine and a thicker neck is more masculine. So that's just a very simple trick that you can do in your own art to gender your characters if you want to. Of course, gender is very subjective. I'm just talking about techniques that I have found helpful. This claw is so good. I had to draw several bad hands to get there, but eventually we warmed up. Coloring Jacob was really fun. I toyed around with the idea of making him brown like an actual hyena, but in the end, it just didn't feel like Jacob Fursona without the pink, so I ended up going back to those warm, unnatural colors. That's the great thing about Fursonas. You can make them whatever color you want. I remember seeing this buff leopard Fursona on gay Twitter once, and it was like bright magenta as well. That was so good, and I was like, oh my gosh, Expand your mind. Because sometimes with Drawfee art, there's only one image we have to go on, so you have to make a decision on, are these the literal local colors, or is this like stylized because it's in monochromatic lighting or something? I don't know. And now I'm just adding some shadows. I love this expression too. He's totally at peace. Nothing is going wrong. There definitely isn't going to be some third act twist at the end of this video that recontextualizes his emotions right now. He's just having a chill day with his friends, getting lunch. Nathan Fursona. As mentioned before, I made Nathan's Fursona much beefier because I can, and I think it makes him look really cute and cuddly and big. A snack. What was God doing when I made you so dumb and thick? Oh, wow. I just really appreciate how he's a hybrid animal with sloth arms and a puppy face. Eagle-eyed viewers may also notice that I gave him JoJo eyes because it's a Nathan drawing. You gotta do JoJo eyes. It's just thematic. After thickening some line width on his clothes, I draw the feet. Don't make it weird. And that about finishes his pose. He's just shrugging his shoulders to whatever Jacob was just saying. I really love the amount of layers on his outfit. It made it really fun to color because of the different shades of blue that there were. And the pop of neon green that makes this little alien guy on his graphic tee was just really nice. I don't know. I love the way that lime kind of played off of the other blue tones. And while I was coloring, I interpreted the brown patch around one eye to be like a spot because he is a puppy, and it could be a stripe because we don't see the other eye, but I felt like a spot was really cute, so I like that idea. Julia Fursona, I was able to pump out really quickly because I had already done all of that preliminary work in the sketch phase. She also has a very particular expression on her face. I guess I'll go ahead and let you guys in on a little bit of a secret. This isn't just a normal illustration. It's also sort of a one-panel comic. I end up adding some speech bubbles to the drawing because, you know, with expressions like these, I really want to know what they're saying, don't you? My initial inking of Karina Fursona's face didn't exactly go how I planned to. I think it looks okay, but it didn't look enough like Karina, if that makes sense. So I end up scrapping the whole thing and then reworking the silhouette a little bit. I think Karina's non-furry portraits and her Newsday have such an iconic silhouette. Like, that's how we think of her in our brain cells. So I ended up looking more at those when drawing her hair and the actual Fursona, just so it looked like her. And I think I achieved what I was going for. And then she too had to have a dreaded chair because she's far enough away from the table that it actually shows. Kind of a bummer, but because I did that first chair with Jacob, I was prepared and I got this one done fairly quickly. And now we're moving to the other side of the composition where we're finally going to be drawing our anime boys. Gojo Fursona was really fun to draw because I've actually seen Jujutsu Kaisen. Shocking, I know. It was really fun to interpret Karina's design. I decided to go with Gojo wearing the full blindfold, mainly because drawing eyes can be kind of hard. So yeah, he's fully blindfolded, and I just had a lot of fun drawing his big hair, and I really wanted him to be somewhat of the focal point of this piece, so I'm gonna do some pretty intense lighting on him because he's using his powers. Artist tip, I'm gonna teach you guys about contraposto. That's just a fancy term for how people stand naturally. Because of the position that Gojo is in right now, both his left leg and his left arm are forward, and that doesn't make a lot of sense because whenever our left leg is forward, our right arm should be forward, which Gojo's is. But if both his left arm and his right arm are forward, if you were to stand in that pose like in actual space, you would realize it's incredibly off balance and awkward and just not natural. So I end up moving his left arm back in space so it receded a bit. That way it restores his own sense of balance so he doesn't just topple over. You can see I'm drawing Gojo using his power. He has like this ability to like create other dimensions or tear dimensions, and I don't know, it's something about ever approaching zero and shattering people's brains. So he's summoning like this ball of energy and creating like a hole in the fabric of reality. Char Fursona is on the ground because he just got his ass beat by Gojo. I don't know the reason for this. Char is a Julia drawing and is a Gundam furry who is like a golden eagle. Feathery? I don't know. I like to imagine either Gojo made a mistake and thinks this guy is like an evil demon or something, or Char's actually was just like an asshole and bumped into him and then said something snarky, causing Gojo to like put him in his place. Hop Fursona is a Jacob drawing and is based off of Hop, the Pokemon character, as like a sheep slash ram boy. His appearance in this image is vital because it recontextualizes what is going on here. As we all know, Pokemon trainers are violent criminals who engage in cockfighting, groomed to do so reluctantly against their will by their mothers and professors who are just using them in order to forward their own careers by expanding their Pokemon indexes. Yes, I know, I am very brave to include such a real world oppressive into this piece, but it had to be done. Clearly, Char was using this child to engage in illegal cockfighting activities, which is both a human rights atrocity, but also an animal rights atrocity. And when you're half human, half animal, that's just an atrocity. So Gojo had to put a stop to it. Sloan slash Savannah is just an innocent bystander in all of this. As you can see, she is suffering from a horrible medical condition that causes her, whenever she sees something too distressing, to animorph. So she is forced to animorph into like a capybara. What was it? I don't remember. Forced to animorph into a quokka. But before she can reach that state, she has to become a leopard and then another human version of herself. It's quite distressing. Jokes aside, Sloan was really fun to draw. I toyed around with the idea of only including her leopard Fursona and quokka version of herself, like the two actual Fursonas. And because they're wearing the same outfit, be like, oh, they're just like best friends that dress alike. So I kind of broke the rules of the world a little bit and included the human versions. But y'all, that Animorphs joke was right there in front of me. I had to grab at it. Someone had to. Now I'm getting into the nitty gritty of the background. It was really fun improvising all of these flourishes on the buildings. Like I was just randomly coming up with accents that would be on the walls and the different kind of windows. It was really fun. I also end up covering a lot of the actual restaurant with umbrellas, but I felt like that was really fine because I loved the umbrella's shape language. I thought it was so Looney Tunes. It was just really nice, very bold shape. And it really made it feel like an outdoor eating area. And another kind of difficulty with this background is that I knew I wanted it to kind of be a bifurcated structure. So this is called foreshadowing. Really two very different scenes happening, even though it's in the same place. And so I have this red area that is Gojo using his power to like create that rip in reality that's discoloring a lot of the space around him. And then the very normal blue outdoors area that's everywhere else, including where the Drawfee gang is just chilling, waiting for their food to come. Wile, Coyote, and Bugs Bunny. So if you like this video so far and you want to support the channel and have me draw characters that you get to choose, if you sign up on my Patreon, I often ask them for recommendations for background characters in pieces like this. And two of them asked for Wile E. Coyote and Bugs Bunny, specifically the E-Boy Bugs Bunny that Karina drew that one time. So I drew Wile E. Coyote in a Legoshi schoolboy uniform, like from Beastars, because Karina drew this fan art one time of him as Legoshi and Bugs as like the bunny in that show, whose name I can't remember. And I think about that piece of art way too often. Coach from Monster Prom was another Patreon suggestion, and I've never played this game, but he seemed like, I don't know, an authority figure with a dad bod, so he's like running towards the fight, scared out of his mind, but I feel like maybe he's trying to help, I don't know. And then my last Patreon suggested character was Princess Carolyn from Bojack Horseman, which is a show I have watched. But I really liked her as a character a lot, and I really loved the episode where she was like trying to revitalize Mr. Peanut Butter's career with like the sad dog meme. I say that all the time. Like in random conversation, I'll just be like, sad dog, unironically. And now here it is, folks, the big reveal of what the Drawfee crew is talking about. Oh shit, an anime fight. Guys, we have to get out of here. But I already ordered my no tomato BLT. Yeah, Jacob, who cares if there's an anime fight? They have Among Us cake. There's an anime fight? And that's the conclusion of our video today. Wow, what a wild ride. If you liked this video, why not like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on your favorite fursona, or if you just, I don't know, have any opinions on my jokes. And if you really want to support the channel, why not check me out on Patreon, link down below, where for $4 a month you can have your name in the end credits. And you can also make fun suggestions for background characters you want to see in my pieces. And also, exciting news, I got my first patron at the $15 level, which means there's going to be a vote at the end of the month. And everyone pledging to the $15 tier gets to vote for what video they want to see next. And because it's only one person, that means unless anyone else subscribes, this person will literally get to pick which video comes out, which is super exciting. So if you want to challenge that person, subscribe to the $15 tier. If there's a perfect tie, I guess I'll have to do both videos. And with that, we've reached that point of the video again, the end credits. Special thanks to Blue Uwu, Christopher, MOE, Game of Catan on IG, Gay Jairus, Melon, Prance, SL Blue, Smalls the Sax Jammer, Thumper Daytime, Tarthalinor, Tuesdays Anyways, and Tuppets Pies. My name is Nathan. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and I'll see you soon. Bye!